What's up, listeners? Thanks for tuning in to another episode of the In the Endzone podcast. Just a quick heads up before we jump into it. You can find this episode as well as some of our previous recordings on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. You can find us by searching at Settle Down Media on both of those sites. Also, be sure to follow us on our new Instagram page. That's In the Endzone podcast on Instagram. It is live. We post videos weekly. So follow us, interact, let us know what you guys think and anything we should talk about in our further episodes. Well, thanks for listening to this and enjoy this episode. Peace.
There we
Welcome
go.
back,
6 seconds
fellas.
in.
Welcome back to another episode of In the End Zone.
What?
Yo, what's poppin', fellas?
What, Keaton?
We're here. We're back.
We're
We're
here.
so back. We're so
Yes,
back.
We are so back. We are so
So
back,
back.
fellas. And guess what? Week motherfucking 1 is here.
That was
It
fast.
is here.
That was
It is here.
Demonetized.
No more
That was
offseason. No more hashtag NFL offseason 2024. No more of that because we have games Thursday, Friday, and Sunday. And Monday, if you consider that. But,
I don't actually believe you.
fellas, holy moly, I'm pitted. Fellas,
Jesus, dude.
we are so back. We are so back. How are we feeling? Because I'm
Pretty
Pretty
excited.
good. Pretty
I'm
good.
excited.
good. Excited. Fantasy.
I am beyond
all of it.
excited. Yeah, last weekend, or I should say the most recent weekend, just 2 days ago, I spent basically the whole weekend sick doing fantasy. I had 3 drafts, did a bunch of mock drafts with Anthony. Turned out pretty good, but that was my Labor Day weekend. Keaton,
Nice.
how was yours?
I was great. I did 3 drafts as well. Paid attention to all 3, did a ton of mock drafts. Was not playing MLB The Show while I was drafting.
Oh, my God. So bad.
I don't know, man. You get that road to the show kick, and it's really is hard to get off it, man. You're just I want to play 25,000 more games, and it's like,
Especially
hey,
during a fantasy draft.
might as well just draft.
Especially during the draft. I mean,
It helped keep
makes
my
complete
mind clear.
sense.
Helped keep my mind clear.
Yeah, you were just like looking at both screens.
I'll tell you what.
One on the
I made
show,
it.
one on the fantasy, making
I
sure
looked
that
at-
you knew every single player that was getting taken.
Care about
You were
that stuff.
distracted.
I've
That's
never
ridiculous.
done. I'll tell you what. I've never done a mock draft in my
That's
life.
insane. That's
It's
insane.
insane.
We talk about fantasy on this show. That's
We talk.
kind of-
Why would I do? It's stupid. It's stupid. A mock draft is dumb. You never
How is
can
it
predict the
stupid?
actual season. You can't. It's a gamble.
It's like
Gamble.
studying for a test.
I didn't study. Chat GPT, baby. Chat GPT got me through college. So,
Oh my god!
no, week was great.
I
Got
can't.
an admission to BSU, so I'm gonna not blow
Nice,
up the
dude.
school.
What happened? What actually happened with that?
They made a calculation error. I literally
Yeah, I know,
called
but like,
them and
did
they're
you just
like,
go in and like, hey, what the fuck?
no,
Like,
I
you guys
called them
fucked
and
this up.
I was like, hey, what's going on? And they said, oh yeah, sorry, like we're looking over at your transcripts. There's no way you finished with less than a 2.0. And it came out that I finished like a 2.6. So I'm like, yeah, okay, we're gonna resend you a decision, and then they admitted me. So that was cool. What else, man? Nothing too crazy. Excited to see you boys in Eugene. By the
Dude,
time
so excited for that.
the day after this episode airs. But
Yeah,
yeah, man.
actually, we have a couple of announcements, and actually, before I say that, Anthony, I'll let you go.
I was
with your week.
I was
Sorry.
gonna say one thing real quick. I'm looking at my team and I realized maybe I joked around a little too much because in
Yeah.
the free league it's one thing to like draft a little
Yeah.
shitty.
Show us your glorious kings. Why don't you? I'd love to do that for the pod. Just give us a shout out. A shameless one.
Can I
Share your
wait?
screen, please.
I can't share this without showing the. Hold on.
Let me see if I can do it on Sleeper myself.
Well, on Sleeper it shows the league chat next to it, and I can't get rid of it.
Oh god.
So anyway, if you guys don't know, I drafted Jake Bobo and KJ Osborne in a 12-man PPR league.
And not like the last 2 draft picks, like it wasn't round
No.
15, wasn't round 16. I'm pretty sure you picked KJ like 13.
Jake Bobo was
No,
I
the
think
Bobo.
my round
Yeah, I think he was
12.
12. Yeah.
He's 12.
Eaton.
So
Oh
Jerkin-
god.
Jerkin Goff is off to a great start, man. Jerkin Goff, man. We're
That sounded crazy.
dude, that's the team name,
Anyways,
man.
If you guys didn't know, we started a fantasy league with all the Settle Down boys, and the punishment is to wear this pink hat for 2 months on the pod. So
2 months?
Keaton
Yeah.
not
Oh no.
picking a real player and picking
Nope.
Jake Bobo in the
This is the
12th.
wrong dude.
No,
We're talking about the wrong.
That's in our
Pee
boys.
Poo Poo
league.
Men.
That's the
Pee Poo Poo Men
league.
is what I
We
did
that.
Oh,
Our 12
shit.
yeah.
I got
in
this
our
confused.
12-man $40 league. In the free one,
Oh.
I picked Josh Gordon. So
Oh,
hopefully
that's right.
he can.
That's right.
Hopefully he can come back
My
from his
bad, my bad.
15th suspension.
I confused both those, but still, Keaton.
Yeah.
Again,
It's
$40
okay.
might be just down the drain.
It's okay.
I will say, I don't think you have the worst team.
No.
Be completely honest. Anthony and I have analyzed all the teams, and I don't think you have the worst team. I actually predict you going to the playoffs.
Thanks,
Funny
man.
enough.
Is that from your mock
all
draft?
The boys in the end zone are going to go to the playoffs. But Anthony, how's your week been, man? Good.
Same old. Same thing as you said, basically. Besides me not being sick, I just been doing mock drafts. Drafted in. Yeah, I don't know if it was for me, but did my mock drafts. Drafted in 3 leagues. I'm in 5 leagues this year, fellas. If for those who did not know,
insane.
And I don't know how I'm going to do it this year. So I'm hoping I don't lose in any of those, considering there's a punishment in every single league that I'm in. So that would suck. But other than that, though, just drafting, mock drafts, and Zach and I finished season 8 of Dexter, and we're on to Dexter New Blood now.
I forgot about that.
Yep.
Insane ending. I'm not going to ruin it for anyone.
What happened?
Was not the happiest.
I'm gonna spoil it. He kills someone.
He does, actually.
Sorry
He does in the very last episode.
I just spoiled 8 seasons of a show.
All right. Anyways.
All right.
Keaton has no clue what he's talking about.
He does.
I will say Saturday was pretty epic. It was literally just filled with college football and fantasy drafts.
And the
Sunday
U.S.
was
Open.
about the same. The U.S. Open was there as well. I didn't watch that. I'm not gonna lie, but
Shout out Francis Tiafoe, Ben Shelton.
But this weekend was pretty epic. Besides being sick, realistically, I just sat on the couch and did mock drafts, real drafts, and that's why I got confused because we did it on the same day. But and try to get better, and then watch some good ass college football, dude. That I guess this wasn't during the weekend, but the Notre Dame versus USC game, that was a crazy ass game.
So upset
I'm
that I
surprised
missed
you
that.
didn't watch it, Keaton. Yeah, no, you're
So
not,
upset
but
that I was watching the most popular tennis event in the world by ticket sales. So that's shout out Francis Tiafoe.
Right. Well,
he's playing
before
right
we
now.
actually get into what we're talking about this week, I wanted to make 2 announcements, and I don't think we've made this announcement on the In the Endzone podcast, but we are going to Eugene for a Boise State versus Oregon game. Boise State is 18.5-point underdogs, so we're a little bit worried. Did not have the greatest showing last week, but neither did Oregon. So we're going to try to stay
We're
a little
so
bit
cooked. We're so cooked.
positive about the situation
cooked.
without Keaton saying that. And then the second thing is, and this will be the first time this has ever been announced, but we are officially dropping our store tomorrow, which includes our merchandise and much more to come. So be on the lookout for that. And if you guys do want to buy merch, please use the code SETTLEDOWN20, all caps, for 20% off, and support the boys. Fellas, let's get into it.
Cool.
Green 18. Red 48. Settle down. Wide 80. Set hut.
We suck. We suck. Get rid of Belichick. Get rid of Mac Jones. Get rid of our entire fucking receiving core.
You guys are 2-8.
That's what I thought.
2-7, 2-8. It doesn't matter. We still suck.
So Seahawks played the Ravens. Final score was 28-25. Geno Smith, 5 touchdowns, no interceptions.
He's a
Anyway,
bug, dude.
not really much to write home about that game. Just
Right.
This is
I don't
egregious.
think Jared Goff is a top 5 quarterback in the NFC.
Wait,
I think
are you putting Justin Herbert over Jared Goff? First off?
Yes.
It was like an interview for like a new podcast company.
Yeah.
Called Brazzers. I mean, you could see I'm literally
Wiki
in the headquarters right now, dude.
Fellas, let's get
Shout
this
out
show
football.
Yeah,
You know?
let's get it on the roll.
So, you know what? As we all know,
Let's get this shit on the road, brother.
let's say it together. We're so back. We are so back.
So as you know, we're so back.
We are
We are
so
so
back. Football is also so back. You know what also is back, or who is also back. Brandon Aiyuk, or should I say he's never left now. Brandon Aiyuk has officially signed with the 49ers for a 4-year deal up to $100.
Crazy how much this man switches up.
Yeah.
Crazy how much you switch up.
For $120 million and $76 million guaranteed. Which is also making him, I believe, the second or third highest paid wide receiver now in the NFL.
Should have been me. Third, I believe.
Check that stat for me, Zach.
Hey, man. Please. All I got to say is let's get this shit on the road. Just keep funneling the 49ers news because I knew this was going to happen. And I said on the podcast I never lost faith in Brandon Aiyuk. No, I didn't. Let's be fucking honest here, man. And I think he's the third highest paid wide receiver now, Anthony. Okay. Two things before we get into this. I changed hats just to be kind of dramatic. And you said, let's get the shit on the road. I'm not going to yap for too long, but we are so fucking back. And I told Anthony this earlier. Like, I can't wait for us just to overreact to literally all the small things to get under each other's skins. I've been waiting for this moment. I've been waiting. All offseason, I've been waiting. Yeah. And speaking about small moments, there's been a lot of small moments with Brandon Aiyuk that have pissed me off. A lot of big moments as well. I've said this from the beginning until about 2 weeks ago when he did not sign the same fucking contract that has been on his fucking table for 3 weeks now. It's been on his table for 3 weeks, but I said it when he started doing the hold-in that Brandon Aiyuk has lost a lot of respect for me or from me. And I'll continue to say it. I've lost a little bit of respect, but he signed with the 49ers, and I said this from the beginning. I don't think there's going to be any bad blood with the team. There doesn't seem to be. There's no bad blood from me as long as he actually performs. Perform, win us the Super Bowl, and I'll be happy.
Tell you what, you know, we're talking a little bit about that. The Niners offseason has been anything but quiet. And, you know, Ricky Pearsall, man, the injury bug has him because he's expected to miss 4 games after having kind of an interesting injury lingering offseason. So that'll be nice. He's going to miss 4 games with, I don't know, some weird issue with his, I don't know, body or whatever. So he won't be available. So that just further impacts how impactful Brandon Aiyuk's going to be. And then also talking about the offense. What's up?
No, continue. I'll let you guys finish the intro.
No, go ahead.
I just think that might have been a little disrespectful. Am I right?
Is it? He's going to miss 4 weeks.
What happened to Ricky?
Tore his labia? I don't know.
No. If you didn't know, you did not know. He was signing autographs in San Francisco.
Okay.
Union Square.
I've been there.
He transferred to different stores, and a guy tried to rob him. He was shot in the chest and survived and is now better, but will be obviously sidelined for 4 weeks. So don't disrespect him like that. And shout out to Ricky, man. You're a dog. You're a dog.
Personally.
Hey, many men. You're a dog, homeboy.
Personally.
Already back in the weight room. Keaton, come on now. And again, let's get this show on the road. Keep it coming. There's another one. Where's the other one?
Just a bullet hole.
Give us another one.
Not only are we back, is football back, and Brandon Aiyuk is back, but Trent Williams is also back with the Niners once again. So we have Trent Williams that just reconstructed his contract with the 49ers for 3 years for $82 million, close to $83 million, and it includes a $48 million guaranteed. And I would like to personally say that all of this is just to get the Niner fans so excited for another Super Bowl loss.
Amen.
It's the little things like Zach. Things like you said, Zach.
I'm not going to say it on camera, but you know what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
It has to be. It has to be. Oh, we're fried.
That's what I've been saying for 5 years now. This is your guys' last shot.
I told you, hey, last year I said we have a 2 to 3 year window, and then this happened with all the contracts. It's a 2-year window. We lost last year. You better win before you sign Brock for $300 million. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah. Well, Niners are back to being consistent and creating drama. And Chris McCaffrey, man, that guy's back to being injured again. So that's cool. Month-long calf strain
today.
Month-long calf strain. That'll linger on.
But it's preseason, so don't get it twisted.
Preseason.
He said if there was a game next week, he would play. So
That's what they all say.
Yeah, well,
If I got shot, I'd play the next week.
Okay.
Kind of walking
All right.
off, dude.
No. We're not going there.
Continuing though with what we have going on here. From what it sounds like NFL players aren't allowed to leave their hotels in Brazil due to high crime rates. Am I reading this correctly, gentlemen?
No, you definitely are, which is fucking insane.
You made the sheet, so.
No, I did. I did. So, and regardless, he's asking a rhetorical question, Keaton.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, Keaton.
Continue, Anthony.
So it says here that where did I see it? So it said, I don't know who quoted this right here, but it says, I do not want to go to Brazil, and you want to know why. I'm going to tell you why. Oh, Slay said.
Gary Slay, yep.
They already told us not to leave the hotel. They told us we can't do too much going on because the crime rate is crazy. And I don't know, a little insane. Why do you think that the NFL would then want their players to go out there if the crime rate's that crazy and they don't even, they can't do anything, really? Money, Keaton? Is that what you're saying?
Obviously. So it's only about money. Growing the sport and bringing it to a region that doesn't really understand American football, but also will never get American football. England has it, Germany has some offshoot of it, but Brazil will never have it. But the same thing was said about Rio. Rio was like a disaster, and oftentimes people who were traveling there couldn't get into their homes, or they couldn't leave their hotel rooms unless to go watch the Olympic event. Because it's so dangerous, and Brazil's one of the most dangerous places in the world. So,
if not the most.
Shocked.
To kind of just add on to that, yes. My dad said specifically that the players are worried to wear green, and that they've been told not to wear green outside because of gang affiliation.
Yeah, I've heard that one.
I kind of heard that as well, but I just found an article from the U.S. Sun that said players have also been asked not to wear green while in Brazil due to gang affiliations. The Eagles have debuted a special black uniform for the game to remove the green from their jerseys. The Packers are maintaining their usual green uniforms for the Brazil game. NFL fans have questioned the decision to send the teams to Brazil, with many teams asking for them to reschedule a game in the U.S. It makes no sense. And realistically, I understand that this is a thing just to kind of get the game rolling in different countries. And like you said, Keaton, they will never have football, number one. Football will never
they
go
have
there.
Football, but not football Americana.
They will never have football, never. And number two, I understand what you're doing. That game is going to be sold out. I get it completely. But part of it, too, is just an experience with the NFL players. I feel like for games like in London, you at least get to experience it without as much of the crime that we're seeing in Brazil. They're not going to be able to enjoy it. They can't even leave. So what's the point?
Yeah.
It's just completely selfish at this point,
Right.
As a player, I would be fucking pissed. I wouldn't want to do that,
Yeah.
especially, dude, it's going to Brazil. If you're going to Brazil, you want to travel, you want to see your family there and do things with your family, and you can't now, especially because both of your fucking teams are green. Why send, and again, I won't continue yapping, but why send the two fucking green teams when the main worry is a gang affiliation with the color green?
I don't think they knew that, though. I guarantee you they threw a dart on the map and were like, yeah, let's do it there.
I mean, you got to think of it, right? It's got to be something that you think of. Someone has the job to think of that. Yes.
You got to have to they should have been actually thinking about this ahead of time, looking through all the different avenues of everything of how it will go before even pinpointing yep, going here.
Exactly. And I mean, it's just blasphemous, really. Sucks for them, but it'll be a great game for us.
Yeah. Well, moving on, though, we have some interesting news about a wide receiver that goes by the name of Ja'Marr Chase. Now, I honestly think that wide receivers are just getting way too greedy. And this goes for all the wide receivers out there that have been asking for a buttload of money. It's been insane. So Ja'Marr Chase, once again, did not practice on Monday when they said that he was going to be practicing, but he doesn't want to, because he wants to be the highest paid wide receiver now by 1 penny, just above Justin Jefferson. 1 penny. and he won't practice because of it.
Okay, I'll say this. Number one, I don't know if it's because of that. I think if he was to match Justin Jefferson, he'll be okay. Number two, I heard specifically it was to fuck with Justin Jefferson. But it's not good. It's really not good.
It's not.
Just to throw that around and then to actually not practice when you say you're going to. I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you, these wide receivers, there's something in the water that they're drinking. Just baby water.
I don't know.
Baby oil water. Like, what is happening, bro? What is going on? Like, why are we having all of these wide receivers say that they need to be the highest paid? All of you guys can say you're the best wide receiver in the league. And all of these guys have the right to be like, yep, I'm top 5. You put up the numbers. But again, play through your fucking contract. That's the thing I don't get. If you sign a contract, play through it and then extend it without complaining.
He's not even due yet.
That's the thing. That's the thing. He has a full fucking year, just like Brandon Aiyuk did. But again, at this point, these guys get greedy and egotistical. And the reason why I say that is because they see another guy that's just as good as them or a tier above them, quote unquote, and then they get paid more. And they're like, I should be paid more. Dude, you signed a contract 3 years ago. That's not the market's fault.
Yeah. Keaton, do you have any words for this?
Not much. I know exactly where Zach's coming from. I would maybe argue that the reason they're like this is more so because like the NFL is a business, and at the end of the day, like if they don't want you anymore, you're gone, and you might as well get your bag while you're there. But yeah, I think acting like a diva also doesn't help. No. And in some situations it does, but oftentimes it's hard work that teams will usually pay off. But yeah, it's a lot of crying and just waiting till you get what you want. And I do understand where people come from about not liking the NFL because of this stuff. Like Cody, our buddy, does not care about like basketball and NBA because they'll do this. But like college basketball or like college football, because there isn't really that like financial incentive to just stop playing because you don't want to. Like these guys are playing for their jobs. So now the NIL.
Yep. We're seeing with DJU.
God, he
that
sucks.
Man has no passion to play. Holy moly, he sucks.
Yeah, yes, but we're not a college football podcast. If you do want college football,
yeah.
Zooch and Wild.
Zooch and Wild, baby.
Check them out. Well, moving on into our last little bit of the divisional breakdowns.
Mm-hmm.
So
we have the best for last.
I don't know if it's the best, but definitely not the best. There could be a few teams in here you could pick out, but all right. Let's go over the divisional breakdowns. All right. So it's our last little bit of it. We have the AFC South and we have the NFC South. Start off with the AFC. First off, we have the Texans, who had a 10-7 record last year, 6-3 at home and 4-4 away. Not a bad team. Not bad. Some notable additions to the team. They have Joe Mixon, and they had Stephon Diggs, the diva himself. And
the one that started all of this?
Yes. And I don't know how to say this top name. Keaton, do you know how to pronounce this name?
Aziz Al-Shair.
Some draft picks that they had Blake Fisher, Kalen Bullock, and Cade Stover, offensive tackle, safety, and tight end. I don't know. I don't know how they're gonna incorporate Stephon Diggs personally within this Texans offense. Because honestly, I'm not a fan of Stephon Diggs. I don't know.
They're going to, though. He's too good not to get the ball. And realistically, I think that he's getting undervalued in fantasy and underrated. I don't think that he's lost a step. I don't think that he's awful like everyone's saying he is. I think he's the clear wide receiver one there.
Over Nico Collins and, obviously not Tank Dell, but over Nico Collins, you think?
Yes.
And then do you think Joe Mixon's going to have a good year with the Texans coming out of the Cincinnati?
Joe Mixon would be one of those guys that I stay away from.
I agree.
I would not pick Joe. But go through all the teams, and then we can go back to some of the guys and talk all of it.
Yeah, let's do that. Then we have the Jaguars with a 9-8 record, 4-5 at home and 5-3 away. Some notable additions is Devin Duvernay, Eric Armstead and Darnell Savage. Draft picks include Brian Thomas, wide receiver, Mason Smith, defensive tackle, and Javon Foster, offensive tackle. Then we have the Colts here. They have a 9-8 record last year, 4-5 at home, 5-3 away. Some notable additions, which honestly I kind of really forgot about, was Joe Flacco himself.
I forgot about that too. Wow.
Really did not. Kind of forgot about that one. Don't know how to pronounce these two names, so I'm just going to say the one. Adonai Mitchell is their wide receiver for a draft pick. I feel like I said that wrong too. I butchered
that. Was good.
I know I did.
Latu Latu
and Matt Concaves.
Okay.
Goncaves. I don't know. That's how I've always said it.
Honestly, I would have said Goncalves if I'm going to be completely honest with you.
That's probably what it is. It's probably what it is, actually.
Yeah, that's my nickname.
That's
no calves.
No calves.
Calves are gone.
But then we have the Titans with a 6-11 record, 5-4 at home, and 1-7 away. They fired their head coach, Poopy Mike Verbal. Not how to say that name.
Vrabel.
I don't know. People.
Okay. We're a ball podcast, but that's fine.
We are a ball podcast.
We're back.
We're so back. We are so back. Honestly, we have two notable additions here for the Titans, but the only one I really see is Tony Pollard. If I'm going to be completely honest with that.
L'Jarius Sneed's good too, but I don't know if he's going to be as good just as a cornerback by himself, you know? I think that Chiefs defense made him look better, although he can be locked down. So we'll see.
We'll see. But even then, I'm not too sure about Tony Pollard with that.
That's fair.
With their draft picks, they have J.C. Latham. What is up with these names? I'm so
Devondre Sweat.
Dude, it's really
Sweat. And Cedric Gray.
And I will say you're many things, but like you're good at many things. I feel like pronunciation is just not one of your things.
My dyslexia is horrible.
J.C. Latham, Devondre Sweat, and Cedric Gray.
I did say J.C. Latham.
No, you said Latham, but that's okay. That's okay.
Yeah,
Gotham,
okay.
Gatham.
Yeah.
Tomato.
Okay, well, Keaton, talk about some of these departures, additions, teams. Who do you like?
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. Departures, couldn't really find too many. It was a little tough. Wikipedia, you fucking suck.
The AFC South was weird.
No, not a lot of activity. Honestly, I think if you're going anything other than the Texans to win this division, I think you're smoking some Googa, because the Texans are going to win this division, and I think for the first time in a long time, I don't think it's going to be close. And I'm looking at it. I don't expect the Titans to be much better than they were. Granted, you can check the receipts last year. I fucking hated Mike Vrabel. I said it every single week.
You did.
And I called it. I stand on my shit. Mike Vrabel sucked as a head coach. I thought he was a good motivator, but he wasn't Dan Campbell. And he tried to be an X's and O's guys, but he wasn't Bill Belichick, even though he played under him. I really do like the Colts. I like what they did. I love that they added a wide receiver to 1.5 because let's be honest, it's Michael Pittman's team and Alec Pierce is great, but they needed a big deep ball threat, and Adonai Mitchell is an absolute dog. Latu Latu is who I wanted Seattle to get, so I'm really excited for him. And I really
in nature.
You know, we're talking about the AFC South, and I'm leaving out the Jaguars, and that's only because I think the Jaguars were so throughout this whole offseason have been so like nonchalant almost, because or like nobody's talking about them because they're just kind of no one really talks about Duval County.
They're just there.
They're just Jacksonville. But you know, there was a point last year when we're like, hey, is this the best team in the AFC?
Dude, yes.
And you know,
talk about power rankings. I think we had him at 3 at one point.
We had him up there, and then all of a sudden
Christ.
The Trevor Lawrence downfall happened that we kind of have expected from him every year, and didn't really come back. And when he did, he wasn't fully healthy. He tried to kind of play like Baker Mayfield did that one year, and they struggled. When he came back, they sucked. I'm pretty sure that they lost like 6 out of their last 8 or something like that. So, but granted, I think if they're good and Trevor Lawrence stays healthy all year, I think they're going to make a serious run at the Texans. But I think the Texans just got too good this offseason, and they got too good last offseason. And I think they're actually, I think they're the second best team in that whole in the whole AFC. That's just me. So,
well, we'll see later with their power rankings, but
we'll see.
I'm not gonna say I agree with you. I don't necessarily disagree with you, though. I need to see my list because I made it. But Anthony, do you have anything? Because I want to talk on some of these teams. If you don't,
yeah, no. Honestly, I kind of agree with Keaton. I think what Keaton was saying is that he would have the Texans, Colts, Jags, and Titans in that order, if I'm not mistaken. But that's probably the order I would go with how this division is going to end up. For the AFC South, I think Texans is a clear winner here. I was contemplating between the Jags and the Colts, but realistically thinking about it a little bit more, Keaton's right. Jags have just been they've just been there, right? Very nonchalantly. Doesn't really seem like they've done too much. I don't see them getting any better or really any worse, unlike the Colts, in my opinion. I could see the Colts being a little bit better than last year. So
that's fair.
Due to their signings and their drafting and everything. So I would go Texans, Colts, Jags, and Titans. That's the Titans. I don't see them doing it much at all.
That's fair. Okay. I want to say a couple things. Number one, I think Houston's easily the best team in this division, but without getting way too overcomplicated with how I explain this, I think this will be the most competitive division within themselves. I think all of these teams have the ability to go 9-8, maybe 10-7, and I think Houston's ceiling is maybe 13-4. The rest of them, I think their ceilings are maybe 10-7, but I could see realistically all these teams going 9-8, 8-9. And when I look at it, the reason I say this is because I think realistically the Colts had the best draft class easily out of any of the teams. And maybe I'm just biased with some of these guys because I really like them, but 8-9 I think is going to instantly make an impact. I think Latu Latu is going to win Defensive Rookie of the Year easily. And I think that last year they were 9-8 with Gardner Minshew. Anthony Richardson, and I'm glazing him a little bit because I love him in fantasy, he's a much better and dynamic quarterback than we saw with Gardner Minshew. So
agreed.
I think that they could be better. And
if he stays healthy,
might be a hot take. This might be a hot take, but I think 3 and 4 is going to be a battle between the Jags and the Titans. I think the Titans got better. I think the Titans got better. They added weapons. They have a way better offensive line, more experience. I don't think Will Levis is bad. And realistically, we see it every year with Trevor.
Well, and I agree with you. I think that's what's kept me from wanting to pick the Titans. Look, I like Tony Pollard. I really do. And I think at the current point in time, he might be a better fit than Derrick Henry was, because I think Derrick Henry was starting to show his age a little bit. And he provides a little bit different dynamic, especially with the ball catching skills. However, they didn't do much to address their wide receiver issues. They didn't do much to address their skill player issues. And I mean, they added players. I'm not saying that they didn't. What I am saying is
DeAndre Hopkins, Tyler Boyd, Calvin Ridley, Tony Pollard.
Here's my thing.
It's not horrible.
They added Tyler Boyd. That is good, because I thought Tyler Boyd last year was wide receiver too. Calvin Ridley, though, I don't know about Calvin Ridley. And my biggest question mark on the Titans, and it's kind of loomed for this offseason for me, is what do they look like? One, without Mike Vrabel, which obviously I think anything without Mike Vrabel is an improvement. What do they look like? What do they look like with Will Levis under center? And I don't know, man. Chewing on my green screen, man. She's chewing on my house, my furniture.
Fucking A. I can hear you in the background. Fucking A.
Dude. So I don't know about Will Levis, and maybe just I haven't watched enough of him, but any guy who puts mayo in his coffee, I don't really want throwing me the ball.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
So
that's fair. I don't know. I think it's fair to say that it should be Texans, Colts, Jags, Titans, but I really think it's going to be a battle. I think it's going to be a battle. Like I said, I think this is the most competitive division within themselves, if that makes sense. But I think we're good with the AFC South then.
Cool. Well, let's NFC
Cool.
South, Ant. You want to break it down?
Yeah, sure.
Break me
please, okay.
Break it down,
if I mispronounce a name, please let me know. And
I already see one you're going to mispronounce, but I'll give you the benefit of the doubt.
I've already seen 3, so maybe 4. All right. So let's start off with Tampa Bay Buccaneers with a 9-8 record last year, 4-4 at home and 5-4 away.
This division's so bad.
Yeah, it doesn't really seem like there were any big-time notable additions or departures. Am I correct on that, Keaton? Nothing you can find on that?
Okay, fair warning. I made this while I was at work yesterday or today, and my work bans everything that is sports-related other than Wikipedia. So I kind of just have to go off what Wikipedia gives me. So if I put people in like the departures or additions list, it's because Wikipedia shows who they added, like their offseason transactions. The NFC South literally did not have any iota of who they included. So I had to like manually go through every single roster and find out.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
yeah, no worries. Then we can just move on with the draft picks for them. Draft picks for Tampa Bay were Graham Barton, Chris Braswell, and God, this is one of them. I didn't even see this one.
Just do it.
Tyke Smith.
Yeah.
Yes, let's go, boys.
boy.
Let's go.
One
boys.
for
Let's
one, baby.
freaking
One
go.
for one. The NFC South, we're back.
And
We're so back.
We're so back.
We're so back.
We're so back. So now we have the Saints with a 9-8 record, for 5-3 at home and 4-5 away. Some notable departures on that was Chase Young. Nothing.
Sorry,
on the
additions.
additions.
Additions. I meant to say additions. He was an addition.
I was going to say
All
that
right.
doesn't sound right, but Chase Young is a notable addition.
That was a quiet 9-8 record. I kind of forgot they were 9-8.
You know why?
Yeah.
Because they were expected to be a lot better than 9-8, and they do this every year.
Right.
And Ant, I'll let you finish. I do want to talk about the Saints a little bit.
Let's go through it all, and then we'll go straight to the Saints with you. All right. Some draft picks: Kool-Aid McKinstry, Spencer Ratter, and Talise Fuega.
Sorry, I misspelled. He
Rattler. Forgot it now.
Rattler. Okay, not my fault.
Talise. What do you
Fuega.
say it again?
Fuega.
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 Fuego.
Talise Fuega.
This guy's Fuego.
Oh man.
Fuega.
My dyslexia is really kicking in right now. This is not okay, boys.
Okay,
but all right.
We're okay.
It's all right. We're good. For the Falcons, 7-10 record last year, 5-3 at home, 2-7 away. Some notable additions, drippy Kirk Cousins himself.
Kurt Cobain's, baby.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
This one's the upsetting one for me. Matthew Judon and Justin Simmons, draft picks, Michael Penix, Braylon Trice, and Brandon Dorless.
Let's go, dude.
I
Good
know
for
they
you.
drafted Braylon.
They did get Braylon, dude. They had a really good
Oh,
draft.
what am I? I'm 2 for 3 right now, right?
You're 2 for 3. Well, yeah, you're 2 for 3. You're 2 for 3.
2 for 3.
Dude, finish this strong.
All right. Oh God, I'm about to be 2 for 4. All right, Panthers, 2-15 record last year. They're 2-6 at home and 0-9 and away. My God,
that's crazy.
I can't really shit on that.
0-9 is fucking nuts.
Patriots were awful, pretty close to that. Some notable additions: Deontay Johnson and Damian Lewis, and this is the one that Jadeveon Clowney.
Oh my God, he's nailing it. No, it is Jadeveon. It's Jadeveon. Yeah.
Okay.
I think it's Jadeveon.
That's a gimme. I'll take that as a gimme. That's a gimme.
Jadeveon?
Either way.
Yeah.
Either way.
I'm proud of you, man. I'm proud of you.
I'm cool with it.
Proud of you.
What about this next one though?
Yeah, this is the one I saw.
So for draft picks, you have Xavier Legette.
Let's go.
Jonathan Brooks and this is actually
not
the one
this
that
one.
tripped me up.
Don't overthink it.
Yeah.
Trevin Wallace.
Let's go, dude.
Yes.
We finished
all right,
strong.
3 for 4. Let's go.
I was like 4 for 5 actually.
Jesus.
You know what? That's a win. Round of applause.
That's a huge win, dude. That's you know what? That's the best pronunciation you've ever had.
Thank you.
You have some pretty bad ones. That was good.
Yeah.
Let's move on to the Saints, though.
Yeah, I need to rattle about the Saints, and I'm just gonna pull up this stat, and I think it'll be NFL Saints 2023 season because I need to explain kind of why the Saints finished at 9-8 and a quiet 9-8 at that.
Okay.
They do this thing.
I don't have my light on.
They do this thing, right? Where they start out and lose a couple of games. You know, they look okay. By week 7, they were 3-4, and after their bye week, they rattled off 2 straight losses. And going into December, they were 5-7. So you're like, okay, this is like the downfall. Like they're finally going to hit that struggle wall that we've all expected them to do over the last few years. And maybe they can nag a top 5 pick or a top 10 pick, right? You know, benefit themselves in the long term. They do everything but, and they do this every year. They beat the Panthers. That's a gimme. They beat the Giants. That's a gimme. They lose to the Rams. Easy. But they beat the divisional winners, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and the Atlanta Falcons, and they smoked them. And they finish with a modest 9-8. Okay? So, fine, right? Except they do this every year where they'll hover that, and Seattle does it. Seattle does this every year where they'll hover this line of mediocrity where they're good enough to make the playoffs, but they're just shitty enough to miss a top 15 pick.
The Steelers of the NFC.
They are the Steelers of the NFC, and I don't expect this changing.
Nope, neither do I.
Derek Carr is kind of the king of that. And you know, I'm looking at it, and I'll be honest, I'm a college football not lover, and and I really didn't love Spencer Rattler. I thought Spencer Rattler got a lot of chances at Oklahoma. I thought he got more chances at South Carolina, which his last season saw him improve. But he came in, and in those couple preseason games, he looked really confident. He looked like he'd matured, wised up, and I'm thinking he might compete for that starting job midway through the season because they're not gonna live and suffer through another Derek Carr mediocre season. You lose Drew Brees and everything goes to shit. I see them going 9-8 again. I'm gonna be honest. I actually think they're gonna finish probably 7-9 this year. I think they're actually gonna get worse, and I'm gonna take that to the bank, baby. Panthers. I'm going to be honest. I like the Panthers. I like what they did this offseason.
Same.
I actually think they did everything right. Everything that they were supposed to do. They bolstered the offensive line, which I think was something that was ultra important. Granted, it's hard to build an offensive line over the course of one offseason. You really have to do it in the draft because of, people being young and age is a huge factor. They did that. If Caleb or if Bryce Young could live up to the first overall pick, I think you're looking at a team that rattles off 6 wins, which isn't crazy. It is a 4-win gain over the last season. That is a huge improvement.
Yes.
Any team
might win an away game.
Any team that gets 4 extra wins on a season is a huge, massive improvement.
Yeah.
They might be the biggest year-over-year improvement of any team in the NFL. Yeah. Well, if Caleb Williams wasn't a bust off the gate, but that's fine.
Well, I could agree with that, Keaton.
Zeko, is there anybody you want to talk about?
There is, and it's Justin Simmons. Dude, they signed him for $8 million. Justin Simmons, if you don't know, since he's joined the league, leads the league in interceptions. He is an absolute dog.
What's crazier?
Their secondary is insane.
What's crazier about that?
I don't think that they're going to be good or that they're going to win anything. I don't think that they're going to get to the NFC Championship. But I will say, if they actually do start clicking, going to the playoffs, that would be a team I would not want to play.
What's crazy is that Justin Simmons was released from Denver.
He was released.
It's not even like he was traded or whatever. He was like, they just said, we don't need your services anymore.
Made no sense. He's one of the best safeties in the league. He didn't get signed all offseason too. Then they signed Matthew Judon. They're like, you know what? Fuck it. We'll sign the best fucking safety in the league.
I think he's going to be the best value pick. I think he's going to,
Yep. Dude, that was the main one that I saw. And then, again, I agree with you with the Panthers, man. I think they're going to go 6-11. And I think that they're going to be competitive, man. I really do.
I think they're going to be a dogfight team.
Honestly, I could see them not being the worst team in this division. I could see it. But this is, again, one of those teams that's going to be very, very competitive in a division that's going to be competitive with themselves. That's going to be completely ass. This is the worst division in the league, and I don't think it's close.
Yeah, there's one good team in this division, and then there's 3.
Let's give our predictions.
mediocre.
Anthony, do you have anything else you want to say, or should we just go into how we think this is going to end for this division?
Yeah, I would just like to say one thing. I think, at least for when it comes down to 3 and 4, I think it's going to be a fight between Falcons and Panthers. I do think, however, this may be, I don't know where you guys are thinking with the Panthers, but I think the Panthers are going to be better, like you guys are saying, but I still think they're going to end up in last place in that division.
Oh, I think they end up in last place.
Okay. I know Zach was saying that he was saying that he could see them not in last place. Which,
I think
dark horse 7-win team.
I definitely would have to say though that they're still going to end up in last place, but with a way better record, and by way better, I mean at least like 4 or 5 more wins than what they had last year.
Yeah.
And that's all I'm going to say with that.
This is how I see it.
And I'm going to say this one thing while Zach's typing it out. Tampa Bay, hold on. Let me. Okay, well, I'm just going to read what Zach put. Zach thinks that the Falcons are going to finish first, followed by the Bucs, the Saints, and the Panthers. My devil's advocate on the Buccaneers is that Baker Mayfield had an awesome year. Baker Mayfield played very good. And granted, I think if you look at his numbers, you're like, it was okay. But for Baker Mayfield standards, this guy was literally looking at playing tight end a year ago because he needed to compete. And now he got a Brinks truck. He had the Geno Smith moment where it's like, okay, I'm so back. We're so back. They bolstered the offensive line, which I think was ultra important. And I don't see why Tampa Bay, after what they did in the playoffs, got worse. If anything, I think they improved. But just going off the strength of what they can do and their consistency, if we can get that same Baker Mayfield, I don't see why they don't win this division. I really don't.
I agree with that.
It's Mike Evans. It's Mike Evans and Chris Godwin. Two healthy, if they're both healthy and they both play consistent.
You also have
the only way the Falcons lose. The only way the Falcons lose is if Kirk plays like dog shit. That is the only way. They are miles.
And it's possible.
Miles ahead of the teams.
Let me correct what I said. I didn't mean Falcons, by the way. I didn't mean a battle between 3 and 4 between Falcons and Panthers.
You meant Saints and Panther.
Yeah.
I assume that, to be honest.
I think Tampa Bay still winning this division.
I agree with that 100%, Keaton.
I just think I think the Falcons have done this every year where they've built this inevitable hype, and then they get to they do this, but they did this last year. We legitimately were like, hey, this is the team that wins the division, and their defense showed out, but their offense played awful. And granted, they bring in Kirk. Kirk's injured, so we don't know what type of Kirk we're going to get. And personally, I watched Penix in preseason. Penix isn't ready yet. He needs another year, and but it's you know what it is. It's like
they're kind of like the Jets of last year.
It's kind of like their ceiling. Their ceiling is divisional winner and divisional playoff round team, but their floor is a wild card team. Like I think they have more upside than Tampa Bay, where Tampa Bay could easily fall to the third worst team in this division. But Tampa Bay could also very easily, like they did last year, win that division. And I think it's just dependent on how the rest of that division plays out.
No team in this division is going to have more than 11 wins. But
no team in this division is safe.
I think Tampa Bay will be second, and then I think the Saints and Panthers follow. But I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah,
we'll see. It'll be a fun one.
It is a fun one. That was stupid. That was got to be the dumbest thing I've ever done.
And here we go.
Now, boys, do we want to quickly do our Super Bowl predictions before we get into the final of Week 1 predictions?
Nope. I say that we do Week 1 predictions and then power rankings.
That's right.
Super Bowl predictions.
You're right.
Yep.
Let's do it.
Let's get deep into it,
Anthony Thomas, would you like me to run through the teams that are playing and you guys can give your take?
How
about we just share it right here?
Oh.
Yeah, we could always just share it as well. Guys. Share it with us.
Okay, dude. What away.
Okay, we're so back, by the way, guys.
All right. Can you guys see this?
No. Yeah.
No,
I was messing. Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Oh man,
I'm fucking excited.
We want to go left, right,
Holy
left, right.
We're just yeah, because that's gonna break down. So
man, we are 2 days away from the NFL starting.
Thursday. Look.
So excited.
I'm gonna be honest, man. I've got all of Thursday off for the Eugene trip. And I'm going to be drunk at Albertsons before my flight, so I'm definitely tuning into this game.
Yeah.
Ravens at
Excited
Chiefs.
one.
NFL or NFC or AFC championship preview of last year matching up in week 1. Obviously, a lot of changes there. I personally I'm not going to bet against the Chiefs anymore. I'm just never going to do it again.
Nope.
They'll go 17-0 as far as I'm concerned.
At least 7.
Yeah,
I'm going to go by 7.
I'm going to go with the Ravens on this. The reason why. This is my reason. This is my reasoning.
Derrick Henry.
No, the past few years now that the Chiefs have started out in the regular season, they have done horrible, and they don't start off strong. They don't. They haven't for the past few years. So I'm going to go with the Ravens.
That's a good point.
Are winning this.
That's fair.
And
That's fair.
I think
the Ravens are a regular season team.
And they are a regular season team. If I were to bet money, I would honestly put the Ravens down on this one.
All right, Ant. I really do like your thing.
I like that.
Mm-hmm.
Good take.
Our Friday game, which we're not going to get many of, so just be prepared for it. Green Bay Packers at Philadelphia Eagles in Rio de Philadelphia. So that'll be really cool. Green is actually the color. Green is actually the color of love in Brazil. If you guys didn't know, people come together and celebrate that color. So I see why the NFL did it.
Oh my god!
I think the Packers take this.
Ooh, I'm going Eagles on this. I have to.
I've got no Sirianni faith
right now.
Well, these are two teams that Zach hates the most, honestly. One of the two teams that he hates the most. I think, honestly, Zach hates every
really trying to think of how this is going to go. I don't think
we are in limited time, buddy.
But, Zach, the Packers have all wide receiver threes. This should be easy. The Eagles.
They do. They have all wide receiver
threes.
It's
Nick Sirianni versus the Packers.
If you guys haven't heard me say this, there is not one wide receiver 1 or wide receiver 2 on the Packers.
And yet they almost beat the Niners. And yet they still
that doesn't mean anything. That doesn't mean anything. Christian Watson, if he's a wide receiver 1, is the worst wide receiver 1 I've ever seen. He is a wide receiver 2 at best.
Brandon Aiyuk is not wide receiver 1.
Yes, he is. He's a top 10 wide receiver in this league.
Okay. Over KJ Osborne?
I'm just saying.
Over KJ Osborne and Jake Bobo. Come on now.
I'm just saying.
Lower. That's cool. I agree with your.
I'm going to go with the
Packers. Yep.
I'm going to go with the Packers. I think the Packers are going to do it because they're going to come out and be more physical. And I don't like Nick Sirianni as well. So, fuck them.
I agree. Okay. Our next game is our first 11 a.m. game. Shout out all you Red Zone users like myself. You can tune in. Panthers at Saints. Honestly, I know we're just talking about the Panthers and what we think they'll do.
Watch this one.
I don't think they're gonna. Do much in this game, and I think it's the Saints. I think the Saints have a lot to prove. So I'm gonna give them the edge.
This is a tough game to debut for the Panthers. I'm not gonna lie. You're a team that's young. You go into New Orleans, who's a divisional rival team. It's not the most ideal situation to go into. I think that they lose, and pretty handily.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I think the Saints are going to take this as well.
Cool. Our next game is our Vikings at Giants. What do you guys think is gonna? I personally, I'm gonna be honest. I think the Vikings take this. I know. In Sam Darnold, we trust. In Sam Darnold, we trust, baby.
In Danny Dimes, we trust.
I'm sorry.
Nope. As a Drew Lock fan,
dude,
I'm banking on Danny Dimes sucking.
We're not going to talk about fantasy for a lot of the episodes, just because we could take fucking hours talking about that, and I won't yap about this too much. But I will say, Malik Neighbors, he's being taken way too high. Way too high. No one can get him the ball. And I don't want to yap this whole session about fantasy. We'll talk a little bit about fantasy for most of the episodes, but not yap a real long time about it for all of them, Yep. And the thing is, Malik, he's just getting taken too high. And another one, Marvin Harrison, should not be going in the first round. I'm sorry. I'll say it here. Those are my 2 takes, and we'll move on.
I agree.
I think we all go Vikings there, correct?
Yep. Patriots.
Goddamn, game of the week.
Cincy.
Woo. Game of the week.
Is Joe Burrow going to play week 1? We don't know yet.
Will KJ Osborne go for 1,000?
Honestly, if KJ Osborne went for 100+ yards, well, I already bought the KJ Osborne Vikings jersey. But maybe I'll buy. Yeah, I did. Maybe I'll buy the Patriots jersey.
That's lit. Bengals. I think we can move
Bengals.
on.
Bengals.
Steelers, Falcons. This is one of the best
Falcons.
fucking games of the week. I'm not gonna lie to you.
I'm gonna go in Russ we trust, baby. Mr. Unlimited Diarrhea.
Dude, I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna go the Steelers too.
Give me the Steelers.
Yeah, I'll go the Steelers as well. I think Kirk is gonna struggle.
Yeah, it's his first game back, but also he's playing Russell Wilson.
Banger game, dude.
Texans at Colts. Give me the Texans, man.
Give me the Colts, man.
Texans.
Give me the Colts.
Okay.
It's at the Colts. Okay. I think they split. It makes sense that they split here. Give me the home team.
Cardinals at Bills. This is a no-brainer. Give me the Bills.
I think the Bills are going to win this, but I think it's going to be competitive.
I was kind of thinking about their offseason.
I think this could be like a 24-23 type of game. Like, the Cardinals might be decent. 24-21 maybe. You never know,
Possibly.
Dude.
It's possible. It's possible.
Dude, they were one of the better teams that did not win a lot of games. They were in almost every game. I'll say that, but we'll move on. Titans at Bears. Wow, does this one suck?
Give me the Bears of the game. Give me the Bears.
Give me the Bears.
Yeah, I'm gonna just take the Titans there. So
I think Bears are gonna win. Caleb Williams is gonna get lucky his first game in week 1, and I think Bears are gonna win it.
Yep, that's fair.
Yeah, okay.
Jags at Dolphins.
Jags at Dolphins. I'm gonna take the Dolphins here. I think Tua. I think Tua and
Tyreek Hill will be too much for the Jags. I agree.
Yeah, I think
too much speed on that team.
Yeah,
Broncos versus Seahawks. We have the rematch of Super Bowl. What was that?
Super Bowl 48.
48. Thank you.
And also the rematch of 2 years ago when Geno Smith said the famous, "They wrote me off. I'm right back though."
Yep. Tough as fuck, by the way.
I'm gonna go with the Seahawks.
I don't think this is even close. I think Seattle wins this pretty easily.
I
Raiders at Chargers. Give me the Raiders. Give me the Raiders.
The Raiders. Yep. Cowboys at Browns.
Dude, I think the Cowboys start really slow. And dude, I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm a fucking 49ers fan. I could argue the fact that the Jets beat the 49ers, and we'll talk about it. But to me, when you don't have your when you don't have your star wide receivers or star players playing in your offense, and you don't get games with them or even training camps with them, you start slow. Every single year, you start slow. We see this every single year with the team that has something happen in the offseason and then they don't play well for a couple games. I think the Cowboys are that with CD. And I think the Browns, again, are complete. They have the defense to do it. They're going to win.
I don't trust Deshaun Watson. I'm going to go Cowboys.
I agree with Keaton on that.
Also fair.
Commanders at Buccaneers. Come on. Stop playing. Give me the Bucks.
Bucks. Keep moving.
Yep.
Holy shit.
Rams
got the game of the week. Game of the week.
Banger alert.
Dude, I think the Rams are going to shock some people. Give me the Rams.
No, absolutely.
I'm going with the Lions, dude.
I think the Rams are going to be decent, and I do have them making the wild card. I think the Lions are going to win the conference.
I think they're going to do it. And, okay, we're on the last game here. I'm a 49ers fan. I'm going to take the 49ers like 21-17. But if I was not a 49ers fan, I would not be angry arguing the fact that the Jets could beat the 49ers. So you can give your take here.
Yeah, I've got no faith in Aaron Rodgers. I'm going to take the 49ers.
I'm not going to lie. I'm going to go with the 49ers as well. But I think it's going to be a good game.
He hasn't played for 2 seasons.
Dude, I would put the house on that being an under game. Like, there is no shot that they equal the points that their spread is. I don't know what it is, but I would bet the house on the under for that game. It's going to be defensive for sure.
That's fair.
For sure.
Do you have a house?
Nope. I have an apartment that I don't pay mortgage on, so maybe I don't have anything to bet on, but
I'm not hating.
Keep on moving. And let's get into our power rankings, man. We talked about this earlier. We're going to bring up the NFL power rankings for week 1, and then we're going to make our own list and compare the two. Last year, we did this weekly. We will probably do this quarterly just because it does take a while. And
it takes like 10 minutes.
We have a lot to talk about. Yeah. So
we just want to we just want to bring up like the top 10 because I remember we had 10 and then an honorable mention team or teams.
Yep, and I have that.
Yeah.
Okay,
so I'll share my screen.
You'll share your screen. Okay, got it.
Yeah, I have it. I have it still saved from last season.
Wait, Keaton, don't share yours yet. Anthony, share yours with the list, so we can go through that and then compare real quick. And we could just go through this really quickly and then we could say our list, you know. But I want the viewers to at least see it and hear it.
You guys see that?
Oh my God. Not yet. Oh, sorry. Now we can. All right. Cool. So we have Kansas City and San Francisco. and 1 and 2, which I think everyone can say that's probably the easiest of the 10 that we will be doing.
Yep.
And then we have the Ravens, the Lions. I think this will change in our opinions, but we'll keep moving. Philadelphia at 5, Cincinnati at 6. Oh, that's kind of high, but I don't mind it. The Texans at 7, Buffalo Bills at 8. Oh, jeez. Green Bay at 9, and then Dallas at 10.
Nice.
So that's their list. They have Miami at 11, or our honorable mention. The Jets may be thrown into the honorable mention as well, but we have a couple of teams that we'll probably throw in our honorable mention. If you guys haven't seen this before, Keaton, pull it up so we can show them.
Aye, Captain.
Aye, Captain. And for you guys that don't know, this was probably our favorite game that we did during the season. So this gets kind of heated, a lot of fun. This is week 1, so I think we'll agree with a lot of it. But like I said, I think 1 and 2 should be pretty easy, right, guys?
I agree. Kansas City, San Francisco. Although I
and then
like
3,
actually
I think
put Detroit.
I think Patriots.
Yeah, Patriots at 3. Yeah, and then Seahawks 4. I like.
We're working on it. We're working on it. No, in all seriousness.
Okay,
in all seriousness,
we'll get into this.
I honestly think that the Lions need to go number 3.
I agree.
See, this is why I thought you guys were going to change this, and I knew just reading your guys' minds that you guys were going to say that. I have the Ravens as 3.
I don't. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
I have the Ravens
at 3. I don't blame that. I have the Ravens at 4. Ravens have to be 4. They're not 3.
I have them at 4.
Yes.
I would put Ravens at 4. I would put Ravens at 4. Again, I don't know what it's going to look like with Derrick Henry.
Look, I don't know if I think a lot of these teams are overrated, low-key, but the Eagles at 5 has me a little bit worried. Little bit worried. A teeny bit worried.
Hold on. Is it crazy?
To say the Texans?
No, I was thinking Texans at 5 too. I'm not going to lie. And then I was going to have Eagles at 6. I'm not going to lie. That's what I was thinking.
That's fine. I like that.
I was going to have Eagles at 6 then, personally.
And then you guys might not like this, but if they're healthy, give me the Bengals. I think they're the next best team.
Ooh.
Sure. I think they are.
Sure. I'm curious on where you're thinking Dallas goes, Green Bay goes, Jacksonville, Rams, Dolphins, and Jets.
So my list was Chiefs, 49ers, Ravens, Detroit, and then I had Texans. What do we have here? Or no, I had Texans, Eagles, Bengals, Rams, Packers, and then I had a couple of honorable mention teams. But I think this is fair. And I realistically think if the Bengals are healthy, they go 7.
Okay.
I think so.
Okay.
I think that they're better than the Cowboys.
Yeah, that's fair. I
think the Cowboys might not make the playoffs. Hot take, they might not do it.
I'm gonna be honest. I think Miami's getting a lot of hate. Dare I say, do they go 8-9?
No.
What's stopping them? What's stopping them, man?
I'm not gonna lie.
Defense, Tua. I don't even have them in the top 10. I don't even have them in the honorable mention.
I have them in my honorable mention at least.
I think that's absurd.
Throw them in honorable mention.
Were you putting, the Bills at least, or were you putting Packers?
I think the Bills probably sit on my fringe top 10. I think they lost a lot offensively.
Okay.
Look, hot take here, man. I think the Rams are the next best team.
Really? Because I mean, you're the one. You're talking about the Jets, like you're onto something, and you're keeping them off this list for longer than you would like.
Yeah, they're off the list. They're not in my top 10 either.
Which I don't understand. See, this is what I guess if we're going week 0,
and then we can fight over that 10 spot.
Wait,
I think those top 10 or top 9 teams. Once you put the Packers up there.
Oh, Packers.
Don't mind that.
No,
I could argue that. That's fine.
Okay, this is where my head's at.
And this is where things get fucked because there's a lot of teams. There's a lot of teams
starting at 8.
Bills, Cowboys,
Jets,
Dolphins,
Dolphins.
Put those teams in honorable mention right now at least.
Okay, guys, that's our list.
Okay. So let's put these teams at least in honorable mention right now. We have Bills, we have Jets, we have Cowboys, we have Dolphins. Who else
Okay.
am I forgetting right now?
I say
No one
realistically, that's our fringe. That's our fringe.
I agree.
Maybe the Falcons, but I think the Falcons are out of that top 10.
Falcons are not in the honorable mention.
Same with Jacksonville.
Yes.
Yep. Close, but no cigar. And realistically, the Browns too, but I don't know. That's dependent on Deshaun Watson. Oh, guys. What do we think here?
This tough now.
Well, look, I'm going to be
the playoffs last year, a team that would have possibly if Aaron Rodgers came back. Does he come back?
I'm not super duper pooper scooper high on the Jets. I am high on the Dolphins, man. And I'm also high on Dallas. I think, dare I say it, they were the third best NFC regular season team last year, and I get it. Seasons change. There's a lot of contract issues, so I don't know if they're the 10th best. Personally, I'd go Miami.
Hold on.
That's what I'm saying.
I'm more
Before we say this,
Bills out of these top four.
Before we say this, we have 3 teams in the same division. Who do we think wins that division? Who did we pick? I'm pretty sure we all picked the Jets.
Kind of where my head's at.
Now, did we go backwards and did something happen within the last 2 weeks? Or are the Jets the best team remaining?
Well, you've been talking about the Jets. You've been talking about the Jets like they're going to make a run towards this NFC Championship.
Look, man.
Which, again, it's Aaron Rodgers in the playoffs.
AFC.
Dak Prescott.
AFC, but...
Sorry. I'm used to the
I don't think they will.
Bay.
I don't think they will, but I think realistically, who wins that division? I don't think the Dolphins win it. I don't even think they're second. I think it goes Jets, Bills, and you can interchange those two.
I'm gonna say I actually think the Dolphins are gonna probably finish second in that division. I don't know. See, now I feel like if you pull the receipts, I'm off.
And that's what I'm saying. It's competitive. It's a competitive division. Very competitive division. Ant, who do you think?
I don't know, but I'm pulling up the receipt right now in our
I think the safe bet is to go with the Bills and the Cowboys.
I have the receipts, Ant.
You have it?
The Bills and the Cowboys.
What did we decide on?
Are the safe bet teams.
Pretty sure we went Jets, Bills, Dolphins, Patriots.
Maybe I don't.
No, it's in the Google Doc.
It was the first one.
Here we go. Here we go.
For NFL division break.
We had Jets, Bills, Dolphins, Patriots.
Okay.
Okay.
So we go
then
there.
I think, and then if we were to order this, I think it would be Cowboys in front of Bills. Yep.
I just think I think for what Miami did at the beginning of the season, it goes often unlooked because they brutally choked on that division.
Dude, their
Personally,
defense did not get better.
Personally, I'll tell you what.
The defense got worse, man.
Miami is in the worst case scenario because why are they in the AFC? What is it? AFC North? Am I going ballistic or is that my AFC East? No. AFC East. I'm sorry.
East.
I'm a little tired. Why are they in the AFC?
About the Packers, NFC North.
No. Why are they in the AFC East though? Because if you look at the top three, if you look at the teams, Buffalo, New York.
Yeah. Wait. What?
New York Jets.
I never thought about that.
And then,
New England.
Who's
Patriots.
the other? New England Patriots. All like within a 500-mile range, and then all the way down below. You know, the southern hemisphere of the United States. You have Miami in the warmest, humid climate in America, and it's crazy. There's a reason why. Miami and Tua in cold weather situations sucks, and that's what you're going to get out of Miami in January. That's why they don't win.
You know, crazy enough, if you look at this list, we have 5 and 5. 5 AFC teams, 5 NFC teams.
We cooked. Chat, did we cook?
Hey, man, I like this. I think those are the best 13 teams. I don't know.
Let's go through it top to bottom now. Let's go through top to bottom for our listeners.
From number 1, we have the Mr. Two-time Kansas City Chiefs, where we've got the two-time runner-up, San Francisco 49ers, Detroit Lions, who did great last year, just fell up a little bit short, a couple yards. At 4, we have Baltimore, regular season MVPs. We've got Houston at 5, the surprise newcomer. We got Philadelphia Eagles at 6, who last year we thought was top tier. At 7, we've got the Bengals, who can be really good if they're healthy, really bad if they're not. At 8, we have the Green Bay Packers. 9, we have the Rams, which is way faster than we expected. At 10, we have the Jets, who can also be a lot higher on this list. And then our honorable mentions, we have Dallas, who we think might be like 11-ish, then Buffalo at 12, and Miami at 13, give or take.
Hey, man.
Not bad. Not bad.
I'll say a couple things. 2 teams that I feel like we could be glazing a little bit. The Texans and the Packers. Again, like I said, Christian Watson.
I think the Rams.
Not
a
top 32 wide receiver in this league. He is not a wide receiver 1. And the Packers do not have a wide receiver 1, and they barely have a wide receiver 2. So, in my opinion, they're glazing a little bit.
No, I don't think we're glazing the Texans.
I think can be great, but they worry me a little bit. I want to see them prove something before I can actually say they're one of the best teams in the NFL.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. I do kind of want to see them. I want to see, like, now that they're expected to win, I want to see if they hold up, you know?
Yep. Exactly.
So,
and that kind of leads us to the 2 best teams that we think are going to come on top this year. Fellas.
Okay, sure.
Yeah.
I said that on purpose just to get your reaction. Fellas, who do we think is
Who do you think's going to come so hard? Who's going to
blow their Who's going to be coming on top this year?
Dude. Hopefully
Oh,
Anthony.
man, that's funny.
Hopefully.
Okay.
Our
Our 2024-2025 Super Bowl predictions, fellas, what is it?
Seahawks and Patriots easily.
Okay, shut up.
But this time, for Keaton's sake, they run the ball this time.
Shut up. I don't want to talk about it. Anyway, I still won't watch that highlight. I'm going to be honest. I think in the NFC, and this is just for me, I've got Detroit, baby. Just win Detroit. I really do. Okay, I'm going to say this as a football person and not an NFC West guy. I like the Niners. I like what they have on paper. I like what their roster and I like what their coaching is made up to be. And I think they're going to make a serious run, if not a run all the way to the Super Bowl. However, I truly think this NFC is the Lions to lose. They came up so short. And I just don't see them doing that again with that same experience. Going to the AFC side, really, man, I'm going to be perfectly honest. If you're not going Chiefs, you have been living under a rock for probably about 7 years. Alex Smith is still the starter. They're playing really well. They have this kid out of Texas Tech, though, who's going to be really good. I think Kansas City. I think Kansas City and no one else. But if I'm going to be like that guy, and I'm going to just if I'm going to be different and just a little goofy, I'm going to go Texans. I'm going Texans, man. I worry about the experience.
Who wins?
I think honestly, dude, I think MCDC gets it. I think MCDC gets it, and maybe that's just maybe that's recency bias.
No. That's fair.
So for me, when it comes down to the NFC, it's going to come down between Lions and Niners.
What about Seattle? Geno Smith, dude.
Continue.
Anyway.
It's going to come down between Lions and Niners. I do think Lions are going to make this one. And I, like Keaton said, honestly, I really do think it's just recency bias right there for how well they did play. And they had so much heart last year too with that. And I don't know. I think they could definitely pull that off. I could see it. I can actually see that happening. But either way, it comes down to one of those 2 teams. But I'm going to say here the Lions. AFC, now, there's only 3 teams that really come to my head. I think that it's going to be the Texans, the Chiefs, or the Bengals. The only reason why I say the Bengals in this is only one reason. And that's because Joe Burrow is still the only one that's beating Patrick Mahomes in playoffs.
And in injuries.
Besides, the real GOAT, Tom Brady, not Patrick Mahomes. So that's the only reason why I'm saying that. But if I'm going to be honest, I definitely think I'm going to say the Chiefs if I'm going to be very realistic with everything. And I'm going to go Detroit winning that.
Okay. I like that. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm getting a little anxious just thinking about Super Bowls in the past and making a prediction right now. The leg is, legging. It's moving up and down a little bit too much, shaking.
The left leg.
Yep. and the third leg. But I will say, with all of that being said, I think this is the year. I think it's the year.
Oh,
and I'm not trying to be a
God.
49ers fan. I think the 49ers win it, and I think they're going to be playing the Bengals. And you want to know why? And I don't want to pray this on anyone. I think that Patrick Mahomes is going to get injured. And I think that this year Joe Burrow is not. And when they are healthy, Joe is the second best quarterback in the league. And I think the Niners just need to get over the hump somehow while not playing a Superman at quarterback. And if they do play Joe Burrow, it gives us a better chance. And I think there's not going to be a year where the Niners do it.
It's kind of the last year that if the Niners don't do it.
That's what I'm saying.
Because Debo's gone next year.
It might be done. Not to say they're going to be rebuilding, but they're not going to be a Super Bowl contender forever.
Yeah.
And if there was 1 year where I could actually say this is our year after everything that's happened, I'm predicting it to be this year. So my Super Bowl prediction is the same as last year, but I think it actually happens this year.
Okay. I can respect that. Not, but that's fair.
Fair enough.
Hey.
Well, I think that
this has been one hell of an episode. For everyone listening and watching.
Really bad again. I think
for everyone listening and watching. For everyone listening and watching, thank you for staying in for this long. What are we at? Almost an hour and 20 minutes. You guys are real ones. You guys are homies.
We're so back.
And guess what? Just like what Keaton said. And Zach, we are so back, baby. We're so back.
Dude, we're going to finish this off so hard in style.
We're going to finish it so off.
Dude.
Whoa.
This outro is coming so fast and so hard.
It really is.
All right.
Please like and please subscribe.
Check out the website tomorrow. It drops.
Yes. Check out the website. Yep.
Please like,
out too.
subscribe,
and
comment.
Please like, subscribe, comment, and let us know what you think of the video. Peace.
Back.
We're still back.
Peace.
They wrote me off. I'm right back though.